Welcome back to the Chatting Average. My name is Adam Busak alongside John Lieber, John Sansoni. We are not recording on our usual Monday time slot, which is interesting to say given the fact that we actually haven't recorded on our Monday time slot ever yet. This was the first week we were supposed to do it, but it's a Sunday, so maybe we'll just have a rotating time slot. It is a Sunday. I've got Sunday Night Baseball on the television right to my right. The Chicago Cubs currently leading the Los Angeles Dodgers 4-2. For those of you watching along,
innings, so it should be over by the time we get to them, which is nice.
That's true. But we are recording on a Sunday. Do we want to talk about why we're recording on a Sunday?
First off, if recording on a Sunday is really not that bad. We watch most of Sunday Night Baseball. We come out and release at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're not late to anything, but we're recording on a Sunday today because John has to be honored at the MSMAs tomorrow.
That's me.
Yeah, have you written a script yet?
For
the speech that you're going to give?
Yeah,
I'm not.
For your speech?
I was under the impression I wasn't giving a speech.
Oh, okay.
Well, your impression was wrong.
I thought it was that the outgoing gives a speech maybe, but the incoming don't.
Interesting. Maybe that's how it's working. I don't know. I haven't been
told.
That
is how it works. It's always
if I do need to write one, yeah, John Lieber is hosting.
John definitely needs to write one.
Oh, my script's written.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I hope there's jokes about me in it.
There aren't.
I hope that nobody gets it because I'm not there currently and none of the Man-Eater people would know who I am, but you should make jokes about me regardless.
All right. Well, biggest piece of news coming out today and this weekend of the sports of baseball's world is Justin Steele's injury of dying.
Yes, Justin Steele, not the ace for the Cubs, but certainly a top-flight starter going down with elbow troubles. We kind of knew this one was coming, but officially today it comes out for the remainder of the season. This is a huge blow to a Chicago Cubs team that really, frankly, cannot afford this kind of injury, right? We're playing in a year where your general manager is looking basically with a flaming hot seat to start the year, and immediately going out and losing one of your best starters is a great way for, that team to head directly towards missing the playoffs and him ultimately no longer being their general manager.
Right. I think he's got a way to salvage this, though. Like you said, not their ace. Important. And I think you can go get another team's ace pretty quickly here.
I don't particularly I don't think this isn't good for his rotation, but he isn't your ace, and that honestly helps here because you have Shota Imanaga, and that is someone you can anchor the rest of your rotation with. You know what you have in Ben Brown. You came out today, Colin Rea on short notice throws 68 pitches, 3 2/3 of 1-run ball. You're probably going to see him end up sliding up in the rotation. They're going to call someone up from Iowa. But, this is a team that, while obviously you never want to see someone go down with it, this is a team that is making a push and probably has some prospect capital too to start moving if they do need to go for a frontline starter. And that there are some pitchers that are going to be on the trade block. Sandy Alcantara has been floating in this limbo of will he, won't he be traded for a while now, and is not maybe 4 years removed from a Cy Young season. This is there are pitchers out there, and obviously Jed Hoyer needs to do something. And that was kind of the point made in the offseason was that he didn't really do much to really build up this team outside of Kyle Tucker, and you lost a lot of capital for that. So the onus falls on the Cubs to not let this be the beginning of the end. because there's a ton of season left. It's April 13th as we're recording this. It'll be April 14th as you're seeing this. There's months and months left of baseball, but missing one starter, every 5 days you have a less than optimal situation coming out. You need to really step up and perform in that absence.
I mean, it just adds up over time. It just does. Another interesting wrinkle, I think, to this entire situation in general is looking at the injured list already for the Cubs, and you have somebody in Javier Assad who, had an oblique injury in February, and his timetable still is kind of to be determined, but you expect him back at some point this season. And I understand that Javier Assad doesn't move the needle for, a World Series contending team, but also this is somebody that for a month and a half last year was the best pitcher on the planet, right? So you have that caliber of performance in there waiting in the wings somewhere. If he can come back, if he can be masterful, I feel like that might replicate or replace the innings that Steele would have given you in the first place to a certain extent.
Yeah. I don't know. My question about this injury is how quickly did Jed Hoyer call Miami?
Yeah.
It's like written in the sand that, like, hey, everybody thinks you should just go get Sandy because you could have 2 aces in your staff while you're trying to make a playoff push. Like,
which is, historically speaking, a pretty good thing to have.
Yeah, like, and it just makes sense. It's like Miami's, I don't know, they're having like a weird year, right? Like,
You could say
enough, they're sitting in 3rd place right now at 500, which isn't great, but they're only 2 games back from 1st. So, like, whatever, but like they're gonna trade people. Like,
you have to expect so, yeah.
Right.
Well, anything else on Steele?
I got nothing. Sansoni?
Flint and Steele. Let's move on.
All right. We're just going to start
The nether.
We're just going to start our American League recap here. Your Pearl. With the Kansas City Royals and the Cleveland Guardians, Cleveland taking game 1, 7-0. Gabriel Arias, 3-run home run, and Bobby goes 4.23 hits, 4 Ks, did not earn a decision because they pulled him for some reason. Game 2, 6-3, Cleveland wins it. Pasquantino does hit a home run, but Arias has another one that goes yard, and Angel Martinez has 2 RBIs. Game 3, 4-2 win for the Royals as they salvage the series. Salvi with the 2-run home run. Cole Ragans goes 7.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 10 strikeouts. Boston and Chicago. White Sox Boston Red Sox. Battle de los Sox. Game 1, mollywopped. The Chicago White Sox win 11-1. Vargas has 2 RBIs. Sosa has 2 RBIs. Navarez has 3 RBIs, and Amaya has 2 to add to the 11. Game 2, the Sox win it 3-2. Robert, a 2-run home run. Brooks Baldwin walk-off single that scores Robert. Robert starts the bottom of the 9th inning with a walk, steals second, and then scores on the single from Brooks. Game 3, though, a 3-1 win for Boston today. Story goes yard. Crochet went 7.1 innings pitched. 7 of those innings are hitless, but he gave up the hit to rookie Chase Madrith. He still had 11 strikeouts on the day, though. The Angels and the Astros, 14-3 in Game 1. Astros take it. Yainer Diaz with the grand slam, a grand salami sandwich. Cam Smith home run and Isaac Paredes home run. Angels take Game 2, though, 4-1. Shanuel goes yard, so does Ward. And Tyler Anderson goes 5.26 Ks and 1 hit. 7-3 win for Houston as they take the 1st and the 3rd games of the series. Ward goes yard again, Shanuel as well, and Paredes has a 3-run home run. Detroit and Minnesota. Detroit takes the first 2. 7-6 in Game 1. McKinstry hits a home run. Dingler's 3-for-5 with an RBI. 4-0 in Game 2. Torque has a 2-run home run. He's got 3 RBIs on the day. And Jackson Jobe goes 6 inning pitch, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. Game 3, though, Minnesota wins it 5-1 as Buxton hits a home run. Torque hits a home run, but Edward Julien also has a home run for the Minnesota Twins. Texas and Seattle. Seattle gets the sweep here. Game 1, 5-3. Polanco home run. Tellez Josh Young, Kyle Raleigh. Game 2, 9-2 win for Seattle. Raleigh has another home run. Luke Raley has 3 RBIs. Tellez has 2 RBIs. Game 3, a 3-1 win for the Mariners. Raleigh again going yard. This one for 2 runs, and Dustin Harris as well. Toronto and Baltimore. Game 1 was postponed. They have 2 more games left in this series, but this one will be made up on July 29th. Game 2, 5-4 win for Baltimore. Santander home run, Heston Kjerstad 2-run home run, and Adley Rushman goes yard as well. Game 3, 7-6 win for Toronto in 10 innings. Kirk has a home run, Mountcastle goes yard, so does O'Neill. But in the top of the 10th, Miles Straw with an RBI single. And Mr. Busack has your standings for the American League.
Enemy of the program, Miles Straw. In the American League, the leaders of the American League East are your New York Yankees at 8-6, followed closely by the upstart Toronto Blue Jays 8-7, the Red Sox 7-9, and the Orioles and Rays both 6-8, sitting at the bottom of the division. In the Central, the Detroit Tigers 9-5. They are off to a very hot start to start the year. Cleveland Guardians right behind them 8-6. Kansas City below 500 7-8, and then the White Sox and Twins in the cellar of the Central at 4-10 and 4-11 respectively. In the American League West, the Los Angeles Angels, maybe the story of baseball to start the year, 9-5. They lead the West. The Rangers 9-6, just 1 game back. Seattle Mariners 7-8, Houston Astros 6-8, and the Athletics of Sacramento 6-9, last place in the West. Where do we want to?
How's that division leader looking? Oh, no answer from the guy.
Yeah, well, look, I thought the Athletics had a sneaky good team. I didn't realize the Angels had a sneaky good team too, which I've been constantly reminded of ever since. You know, this is a team.
I'd like to.
This is
John. We haven't even like talked about the Athletics yet.
Yeah. I do want to start with the Angels, though, because Houston beating the Angels today puts an end to what was my favorite trivia fact of the year so far in Major League Baseball, which was that going into today, the Los Angeles Angels were the only team in Major League Baseball that had not yet lost a series.
They're
just playing good ball. It's simple as that.
Yeah. Interesting. Good series, though. Good win for Houston.
Definitely.
I think the biggest thing here is like Seattle has swept Texas. Puts them 2 games back of second place in the division.
And again, these are
big dumper. Like,
these are series that Seattle has to win, right? The divisional series are going to mean so much more to them because in a division like this where teams just kind of beat each other up, if the Mariners can stay above floating level, I think that's going to be a huge thing for their playoff odds going forward.
The Athletics, I gotta talk about them. You know I gotta talk about them.
Dude, they're coming up in the interleague.
They are coming up in interleague.
They lost the series, bro.
If you want to talk about it now, feel free.
You know what? Yeah, no. I'll save it for when we actually mention the fact that they got swept. Because this is bad for me. It's bad. It's bad for me.
They won a
good showing from the White Sox this week. I'll say if we're switching gears, good series from the White Sox. I think they really had a chance to close the sweep out today. Obviously, a decent pitcher's duel in Shane Smith and Garrett Crochet. Crochet getting the upper hand there, which is not exactly surprising, but Smith really kept him in the game. He gave him a chance.
I think Smith has a 2.8 ERA over 17 innings to start the year, which is just kind of fantastic from a rookie.
That'll play.
He's
been great. Martin Perez has been great. Like, that rotation is surprising some folks.
Yeah. They get the offensive explosion in game 1. That 11 runs, not one of them comes off of a home run, which is kind of crazy. Like, manufacturing runs without making the ball leave the park is kind of cool. Obviously, like, being gritty and winning game 2 and in a walk-off. I mean, like I said it, like, Robert walked, stole second, and then scored on the single. Like, he won the game for the Sox.
Right.
With his play in the 9th inning. Like, So, really
No,
cool. Can't wait to see him on a different team.
I would caution everyone that the White Sox, their Achilles heel is their entire offense sucks.
Correct.
I mean, and
It's like a historically bad offense.
It's historically bad. I'm looking at all the OPSs here. I've counting 2 players that are above a 700 OPS. One of them is Matt Tice, and one of them is Chase Mudroth. And one of them has been called up for 2 days, and one of them is, a catcher who has 25 at bats. So
Quick, John. Who has a 9 OPS plus on the team right now for the White Sox?
A 9 OPS plus?
A 9 OPS plus.
Is it Andrew Vaughn?
It's Andrew Vaughn.
Andrew Vaughn, his actual OPS is a sparkling .383.
Oh my god.
No, his OPS?
Yeah. 383.
His OPS is a 374.
Oh, I might. It didn't. I'm looking at the game. I'm looking at the box score from today, so it's not the current updated one. But
that should be updated technically.
So either way, is this a fun series for all of you fantasy baseball managers that are looking to stream a starter? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Is it good for anything else? If you are rostering a single hitter on this team, you better have a 30-person league, because there's no reason you should have been doing that for anything less than that. John, you're laughing.
Picking up Chase Medrith.
No. He's gonna get White Soxed.
I know.
Anyway, let's move to the NL.
Let's do move to the NL.
Sure.
What do you mean that was quick?
The National League of the Nationals with the League with the Nationals in it. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Cincinnati gets the. Why did he put his finger up? Cincinnati gets the 3-game sweep. Game 1, 5-3. Candelario has a 2-run home run. Frazier has a identical home run. 5-2 in Game 2. Ellie De La Cruz grand slam on bobblehead night. That's all she wrote. 5-2 win. Game 3, 4-0 win for the Reds. Aspinall with 2 RBIs. Hunter Green goes 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 8 Ks. Washington Nationals of the National League and the Miami Marlins squaring off in Miami. Miami's going to take the series here, but the Nationals get Game 1, 7-4. Bell has a 2-run homer. Nathaniel Lowe has a 3 RBI double. Wood goes yard. Game 2, though, 7-6 win for Miami. Mervis leaves the ballpark. Conine 2 RBIs. Stowers 2 RBIs. Game 3, 11-4 win for Miami. Mervis goes yard again. This one for 3 runs. Stowers has 2 RBIs again, and so does Conine. That looks quite similar to Game 2. Philadelphia and St. Louis. And St. Louis is just going to keep playing really good baseball for some reason. Game 1, 2-0 win for the Cards. Pozo 2 RBI double. Burleson RBI walk, and Palante goes 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 4 Ks. 4-1 win for the Phillies in Game 2. Castellanos has 2 RBIs. Sanchez goes 6.1 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 Ks. Game 3, 7-0 win for the Cards. Contreras 2-run bomb, and so does Walker. Colorado gets swept by the Padres in San Diego. 8-0 loss for the Colorado Rockies in Game 1. Tatis home run, Sheets home run, Pivetta 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 10 Ks. Game 2, 2-0 win for the Padres. Tatis and Hayward each leave the ballpark. Kyle Hart goes 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 4 Ks. And Game 3, 6-0 win for the San Diego Padres. Yep, you've heard that right. The Colorado Rockies have not scored once in the last 3 games. Iglesias 2 RBIs. Michael King goes 9 innings pitched, 2 hits, and 8 Ks. How's it feel to legitimately get shut out for 9 innings by Michael King like it's 1963? Milwaukee and Arizona in Arizona. Milwaukee taking Game 1, 7-0. Yelich, Contreras, and Trang each have 2 RBIs, and Quintana goes 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 Ks. Game 2, Arizona takes it 5-4. Arizona scores every run in the bottom of the 9th inning. Alec Thomas, RBI triple. Corbin Carroll, 2 RBI double. McCarthy, RBI single. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hits a sac fly for the walk-off win. Game 3, 5-2 win for the Snakes. Contreras has a 2-run RBI RBI, but Alec Thomas has 2 RBIs, and the Snakes take it. Chicago Cubs and the Los Angeles Dodgers. 3-0 win for the Dodgers in Game 1. Edman has a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 6th, and that's all she wrote for the offense that day. Yamamoto 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 9 Ks. Game 2, 16-0. Cubs win it. Mollywopped again. 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Bush goes yard, Carson Kelly goes yard, Amaya goes yard, Kelly hits another 2-run bomb, and then Game 3 happening right now, closing out right now. Chicago wins it 4-2. I literally think this just happened.
It happened when we were talking for the first game in the series.
There you go. Michael Bush homers, PCA homers twice.
Your standings.
Which means Chicago takes the series. I apologize.
They get slimed too.
Series. The standings for the National League, starting in the East, as we do, we have a tie for first place. The New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, both sitting at 9-5. The Miami Marlins, the perfectly average Miami Marlins, 7-7, a hot start for them. Nationals 6-8, and the Atlanta Braves in last place, 4-10. We will talk about that later. The Central Division, you have the Chicago Cubs after that win, now moving to 11-7 in first place in the Central. The Milwaukee Brewers behind them at 8-7. Then the Reds at 7-8. The Cardinals at 6-8, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, the lowly Pittsburgh Pirates, 5-10. In the West, the San Diego Padres are God's gift to baseball. They are just the greatest baseball team that's ever been conceived. They're 12-3 and ahead of the second place San Francisco Giants, 10-4, which means that in third place, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Is it time to get worried about Hollywood? No, because they're 11-5. The Arizona Diamondbacks 8-7, and the Colorado Rockies 3-11. The greatest baseball team that has ever been assembled.
Rocks have the best record out of all 3 teams that this show supports. Pete Crow Armstrong is the first MLB player with 2 home runs and a triple in the same game since his teammate did it last year on August 24th against the Marlins. Teammate? That's Seiya Suzuki.
So the NL West is just crazy now, I guess. 13-3, 11-4, 11-6, 9-7. And, for a team that somehow only has 4 teams, I wonder where the 5th one is. It really...
Where is that 15th?
Where is that 5th?
The AL Central is really similar. That 5th team isn't real anymore.
Neither is the NL East.
About the National League East.
Yeah, this is why I support my hometown Montreal Expos. Allons-y Expos.
Oh, the Tampa Bay Rays?
Nice.
But really, the NL West is one of the most impressive divisions in all of baseball. We knew that the Dodgers were going to be good, but the fact that they're getting outpaced by San Diego, which is terribly surprising, but the Giants are just on fire right now. They came into New York and stomped the Yankees.
That's the Buster Posey difference, man. That's the Buster Posey difference.
Jung-Hoo Lee has an 1130. Yes, they call him Grandson of the Wind. He has an 1130 OPS. He's hitting in the 3-hole as a center fielder. As someone who we were worried about in his first year adjusting from KBO pitching to MLB pitching. And I guess it's just not an issue if you're facing Marcus Stroman or Carlos Rodon.
Quick point. It's actually his second year adjusting to Major League pitching. He only got about a month last year before he was down with injury, but he did see some Major League pitching last year. That being said, I am all in on Jung-Hoo Lee. I am a believer. I am a convert. I think he's among the best players in baseball. I'm proud to admit that I am a hooligan. This player is elite, and I'm totally behind him.
I would honestly heavily recommend the Jolly Olive video that he just put out on Jung-Hoo Lee yesterday. Very good video. I think that there's a tendency when you live in Missouri or you live in New York that you're not really thinking that much about Jung-Hoo Lee, and then you're not really thinking about the San Francisco Giants, especially in an NL West that looks like that. So I feel like there's people who are like, who's this Jung-Hoo Lee guy and why is he good? And it's like, well, probably because his dad is really good at baseball, and he like started in the KBO as like a 16-year-old, and won Rookie of the Year, MVP, like very good at baseball.
There is a universe where every single thing that possibly could go right does go right for the San Francisco Giants, and they give the Dodgers a run for their money in the NL West. I think we're all expecting the Dodgers to be historically good, push for 120 wins, maybe try and upset the record that the 2001 Mariners set for most wins in a season. But there's a universe where they sit a little bit off of that. They have some injuries, and the San Francisco Giants have everything break their way, and the Giants claim this division from out underneath the Dodgers. In that universe, Jung-Hoo Lee continues to OPS over 1,100 for the rest of the year. And I think that could happen. I realistically think that could happen.
This is a team where... Go ahead, John.
No, go. You got it.
Mike Yastrzemski came off the bench today. You have a 965 OPS coming off the bench. Not to mention, you have a bullpen that Logan Webb, honestly, 3 earned runs in 5 innings, not necessarily his greatest. He's had a 2.63 ERA, but not necessarily a typical Logan Webb performance. And the rest of the bullpen allows 1 hit for the rest of the game, and it was a home run. You don't have to have. It's not just like there's one guy. Is Jung-Hoo Lee the guy? Yeah, but he's not the only guy. This is a team that I feel comfortable, making a deep push, which is crazy because you thought it was going to be Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and everyone else kind of filters down, right? We all thought that, and honestly,
We had
the
Diamondbacks,
right? And right now, the Diamondbacks are kind of, even though they won today, are kind of on that razor's edge of just over 500. If projecting that out for the rest of the season, barely a wild card team.
You mentioned them, so I'm gonna talk about them for a second. I'm so happy that the Giants just were like, yeah, no, we're just gonna keep Yastrzemski and we're just gonna put him in right field. He was their center fielder for 5-6 years.
6,
I assume
7,
6 years. I mean, he took it over from Jung-Hoo Lee when he got injured last year. I'm pretty sure. So I'm very excited. He's having his best year yet. He's in 316 at the plate. In 12 games, 48 plate appearances. He's got 10 walks already on the year, only to 14 strikeouts. He had 38 walks all of last year. And OPS plus of 197 in this short amount of time. Already has accumulated 0.8 WAR. That's a guy, and that, like you said, that's a guy that they have coming off their bench every 3rd game. I don't know. I like that. Any series in the NL that we need to talk about?
I do quickly want to hit on the St. Louis Cardinals taking 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. I understand that they're below 500 on the year right now, and they've had a couple guys start really, really, really slow. Contreras, obviously, is one of them. Mason Wynn, another one, and they need him to be a superstar, really, if they're going to push for the playoffs, which I don't think is in the cards for them. But winning a series in the way that they did today makes me wonder, what if they're just really annoying all year? What if they hang right below 500 and just win just enough series to give you hope that they could really turn it on, and then they just never do? What would that do to that fan base?
Oh, that fan base doesn't care what they do anyways, right? So that fan base doesn't show up to games on the weekends. The Sox had 30,000 people in their ballpark yesterday. I don't know if I legitimately don't know if the Cardinals have had 30,000 people this season show up yet in total.
I generally am more ambivalent to that than you are. I think that not going to games is a totally fair way for a fan base to tell ownership that they're not happy. And frankly, I wish the Rockies would stop showing up to games. Rockies fans would stop showing up to games as much as they do, just to kind of send that message. Um, so generally,
My thing with
that's
it,
something that bugs me so bad. But I understand where you're coming from about this fan base is generally very spoiled and they're reacting very negatively to no longer, being at the upper echelon of baseball. But after, a decade plus of being in the playoffs every single year, at a certain point, you do get used to that standard of ball. I don't know what to tell you.
I think my thing is like they're lucky that they're a team that they can do that for. You know what I mean? If shoot, look at Oakland. Fans stopped showing up to protest the fact that the team was terrible, and they went, "Cool, we're going to use that as an excuse to leave." Like the White Sox could very well do the same thing if Jerry sells or dies. Like they could go, "Well, nobody shows up, so we'll just leave because there's no fans." But like, no, like the Cardinals are not leaving St. Louis. Like, you know what I mean?
Correct. They've
Like same
leveraged
thing
that.
with
The fans have leveraged that.
right. Same thing kind of with the Rockies. Like, somebody could buy the Rockies and move them. Do I think
There's
that would
no
happen?
universe that franchise
Right.
ever moves out of Colorado because it's just too profitable.
Right.
Right. Like, I don't think they do, but, like, the Sox could easily go, yeah, we're going to leave. So it's like, I like seeing 30,000 people show up to the ballpark, and they got to see a walk-off win. So, like,
Yeah.
for a team that's sitting at 4-11, like,
I mean, baseball is still fun. Bad teams can be still fun to watch.
Oh, totally.
yeah, I'm AI with the Braids.
I'm AI with the braids. I'm not. But like, I don't really know where I was going with that.
I don't know where you were going with that either.
I don't know. Did John just
Is
said it and like it's like the Winter Soldier like kill switch phrases. Like, let's move on.
Is there any other series in the National League that we need to talk about? I don't think so.
I have one final thought. We don't even need to dig into this any further, but I do want to say that I think Hunter Green is going to end up being one of the best pitchers in the National League this year.
Yeah, and I think if he can stay healthy, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I'm
To
trying to
interleague
find-
play.
Sure. Oh, sure. Atlanta, Tampa Bay, squaring off at Steinbrenner Field in Atlanta, Georgia. Just kidding, it's in Tampa Bay, Florida. Game 1, 6-3 win for Tampa Bay. Jansen, 2-run home run. Morel goes yard. Ozuna goes yard. Albies goes yard, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Game 2, 5-4 win for Atlanta. Caminero goes yard. Sean Murphy homers twice. Albies goes yard again. And Michael Harris, the second on a reviewed home run, gets the lead. And it all comes down to this, the rubber match. Does John's team finally get a series win? No. 8-3 win for Tampa Bay in Game 3. Diaz goes yard and Caminero has a 3-run home run. Those San Francisco Giants, Los Gigantes de San Francisco, take 2 of 3 from the New York Yankees. 9-1 win in Game 1. Jung-Hoo Lee, 3-run home run. Lamont Wade, yup, 3 RBIs on the day. Game 2, an 8-4 win for the Yankees. Flores, 2 RBI home run. Rice goes yard. Bellinger has 2 RBIs. Goldie has 2 RBIs. Game 3, though, 5-4 win for the Giants. Jung-Hoo Lee homers twice. The second one's a 3 RBI home run. And Jazz goes yard for the Yankees, but Yankees lose. The New York Mets and the Athletics square off in Athletic Town because that's where the city is, where they play. Game 1, 7-6, the Mets win it. Nimmo goes yard. Andujar has a 2-run home run, and Alonso also has a home run. 3-1 win for the Athletics in Game 2. Nimmo finds pay dirt again with another home run. Soderstrom, Blade, and Pareda all have RBIs. 8-0 win for the Mets today. Torrens, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Vientos, 2 RBIs. Senga, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 Ks. John, your Atlanta Braves.
Why Chris Sale sucked today. He admitted it. He had a bit of he even threw the rosin bag after his first inning, and it bounced off of the mound like 10 feet away across the infield diamond.
You know, it's not the worst thing he's done with a piece of equipment.
Right. So again, he's done worse at throwing tantrums when he's bad, but 4 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. He's a 6.63 ERA on the season, and the Braves just can't really muster anything. It's a team that has their wheels firmly stuck in the mud, and the Rays, honestly, were really impressive today. Joe Boyle, someone who graded out with some of the worst command ever last year, throws 100 miles an hour and used to apparently not know where it was going. 5 innings, 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, no hits. That's incredibly impressive. The Braves are 4-11. They're the worst. They're 6 games behind in the NL East.
John,
There's
I have
no
a question for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize. Do you know how many games you would win against the Atlanta Braves if you scored 5 runs this season?
All of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the first 5 of the year. 6, not 7. You would have tied. 6, 7, tie. 8, 9, 10, tie. 11. 11 games you would win this year if you scored 5 runs on the Braves.
That's 11-0-3.
11-0-3. No, 11-1-3. I apologize.
11-1-3.
They beat Miami 10-0 and won on the 4th. That's the only game they've scored higher than 5 runs.
Where's the offense?
So this start,
Sox
I would say, is very similar to a start that the Rockies had in 2018, where their offense was just completely disappeared. And thankfully, the National League West that year was not particularly strong. The Rockies ended up forcing a game 163 at 92 wins. I don't think the NL East this year is going to be that weak. And here's the thing that you have to keep in mind, right? Is that in the first month of the season, you cannot win a division. You can't do it. You can't win the division in the first month of the year. But you can certainly lose the division in the first month of the year.
I'd say the Rays won the NL East that one year.
The Braves are in dangerous territory. And if they continue sliding like this, if the offense continues not to show up, if their big bats that they've paid a lot of money to really can't bust out and replicate some of their better seasons, there's a universe where the Braves lose this division in the first month of play.
To agree.
The Yankees. Ben Rice has been really good. You have a first baseman, catcher, DH in your leadoff spot, and he's got over 1,000 OPS.
Yeah, he's been good, but he was also really good to start last year. And I'm wondering where the fall off happens.
But
like,
you
to
knew
just be
that
genuine. Yeah.
But you knew that you were going to miss some production in the DH spot without Giancarlo Stanton. The fact that they've essentially made, I'd say, an upgrade to this point in the season, from Giancarlo Stanton to Ben Rice, someone who also can provide you some more fielding than Giancarlo Stanton can at this point in his career. And the rest of the team, their worst hitter right now is Oswaldo Cabrera, who's consistently hitting 9th. You know, this is a good 8-7 team. This is a team that could be way better, and I think will get way better. Because some of the losses they've had, you know, they lost today by 1 run. They lost against Arizona. The 2 losses they had were by a combined 3 runs. This is a team that could very easily, you know, you change a couple single results, and they're on top of the AL East.
Yeah.
I've got nothing on Mets athletics. You guys got anything on that?
No,
You know
it's
what?
Mets athletics.
Is it too late to do? Whenever we invent time travel, and if you did invent time travel, you should have already sent Adam your favorite meme. But
Yes,
Right.
You should do that.
can you tell me to not pick the athletics? Thanks.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't think we need time travel for that. We told you at the time that that was not going to age well.
I
Who
can't
knows?
disagree.
That's why you watch this podcast. That's why you listen.
I don't know
Because it's
people
the
watch
content. This is content.
This is content. This is great. This is the best baseball podcast in the world, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to
Yeah,
go
That's
out
what
there and
people
say
are
that.
saying. People have said that before.
The people have definitely said that before. Any news lines we want to hit, or should we get into the grid?
I think I'm good on the grid. Let's go to the grid. Let's
All
go.
right,
Let's grid.
Let's go to the grid, Jim.
All right. So on the grid, we have a 3x3 grid with 9 cross intersections. Yeah. And you got to like cross like the columns and the rows with the categories. So the categories are row 1, the Cincinnati Reds. Row 2, the San Diego Padres. Row 3, the Chicago Cubs. Column 1, the Kansas City Royals. Column 2, the only one team. Column 3, played second base a minimum of 1 game. Thoughts?
Okay.
I have only one team for the Reds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blake Dunn. 0.2, solid. I have played second base for the Reds as well.
Sure.
Mike Moustakas. Thoughts?
Sure. Yeah, I didn't know that.
The Moose. 0.7. Not terrible. What else y'all got?
Second.
I'm thinking on a Cubs second baseman.
I've got a Padres second baseman.
Okay, hit me with the Padres, and then I'll hit you with the Cubs.
I'm torn between Tucupita Marcano or Robinson Cano.
Oh, I say Marcano.
Yeah, Tucupita Marcano, noted pirate. Can you spell Tucupita, John?
He looks very concerned right now.
Tucu. You probably already found him just by typing those 4.
I got it.
And what's the percentage on that?
0.1.
Very good. Cubs played second base minimum 1 game. Tommy La Stella, noted World Series champion Tommy La Stella.
0.5.
Royals Padres.
Sure.
Trevor Rosenthal.
Ooh.
Yeah. Royals Padres. That's 0.2. I have a. No, I don't. Never mind.
I have a Royals Cubs.
Sure.
Jorge De La Rosa. Also known, or perhaps better known, as George of the Roses.
It's true.
What do we think of Kazuhisa Makita for Padres only 1 game or only 1 team?
Sure. I don't know who that is.
I have no clue who that is.
I think he, if I remember right, only played 1 season in like the late 2010s. It says 2018 here. Correct. 0.07. So we need a Kansas City Royal Red and a only 1 team Cubs.
Only 1 team Cub.
Yeah, I'm noodling on that one as well.
What's that one backup catcher's name? Like Moises Ballestero? It's like Moses, but with an I. MOI. Let me check that in case. But I feel like he.
Thoughts on David Bodie?
Has he appeared for anybody else?
No, I don't think he has. I think he went straight to. He went across the Pacific to somewhere. Yeah, I think David Bodie would work. Yeah, put David Bodie down.
0.5. Okay, not terrible.
Matt Shaw is only
We need
good
a
for the.
Royal
If we
Red.
had gone with Gerardo Concepcion, World Series champion Gerardo Concepcion, we could have got a .03.
For Royal what?
No, for Cubs only.
We need a Royal Red still.
I mean, Hunter Renfroe played 14 games with the Reds in 2023.
I feel like we could do better than that.
What about
Harvey? Maybe not.
what about
Jeremy Affeldt.
Ooh, yeah. I was gonna say Amir Garrett.
Ooh, Amir Garrett actually would be an elite pull.
Let's just do Amir Garrett. I love that guy. 1%.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
is he? 4.
Oh, yeah.
4. What is our number one square on the grid, or the hardest square on the grid? Royals Cubs, 65%.
Pretty
John,
good.
can you tell me
today.
how many people have played second base for the Reds?
Like off the top of my head?
Yeah, give me a guess.
It's got to be in triple digits.
200.
Well, I hope so.
I'll say
212.
198.
319.
Good
Ooh.
God.
Do you know how many players have played second base for the Cubs?
2.
Correct, yeah. No, 348. Do you know how many Reds have only played on the Reds?
Like 400.
True, 416.
Oh wow.
Hey, pretty good.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Well,
I think that'll do it.
Let's make like a tree and get out of here.
It's true. Trees do move.
Sunday night edition of the Chatting Average was a success. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, it was a
Fortunately,
great
you'll be
success.
hearing this on Monday morning.
Unless you're listening right now, in which case you're probably my neighbor, so sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can find us on Twitter at @TheChattingAVG. Find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. Wherever you get your best podcasts, that's where we are.
We're also on X, the everything app. But
That's true. But you already knew that.
You already knew that. You already follow us on there. I know you.
All right.
You already knew that, right?
Right.
Bye.
Good jockey.
Oh.